Well. We're going to do some pre-draft coverage before our second day of the draft. We are going to cover the second day of the draft today starting at 6:45. But I wanted to go for about an hour and some change today because there are some things that I want to talk about, and we'll elaborate on these a little bit more maybe today during our draft coverage. But there are some things that have come to light about the Dallas Cowboys and their day one pick of Tyler Booker, as well as some things that Stephen Jones let loose today on 105.3 The Fan. Stephen Jones kind of let loose on some things too that might be giving us a little bit of insight on what's going to happen tonight. And so I want to deal with this Stephen Jones interview, kind of give us a little bit of a taste of what we're going to, of course, we're just going to be watching the draft today. And, we're going to, hopefully today we're going to be extremely excited because I'm hoping the Cowboys are going to get a wide receiver. I'm hoping the Cowboys are going to get a running back. And I'm going to name the two that I think or hope that they're going to get. But I want us to go through again this interview with Stephen Jones because I believe that Stephen Jones may be giving us some insight on what the Cowboys may do tonight. So again, I appreciate y'all coming on in. Y'all hit that like button as you come in. We're going to do this for about an hour. I went ahead and started early. Today because I want to at least go to about maybe 5:15 at the latest so I can get ready for the 6:45 main show tonight. But again, it will be the Stephen Jones interview, and we're going to see where that goes. We're going to get us a quick roll call in, and man, we are going to get right into this. I appreciate y'all coming in early. Let's get it. Roll call time. And then we're going to get into this. My man, the dude. He's right up in here. The dude, you got me laughing already. He said it's time for old Jerry to disappoint everyone 2 times tonight. Man, I had to sleep on that pick last night, the dude. But I'm feeling a lot better about it now that I've kind of seen some things on it. I'm feeling a little bit better. We'll see how it goes. Dominique Pittman, what's going on? Timo, I forgot. He said fire. Appreciate you. What's going on with your Timo? Dominique Pittman, yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to do a little pre-draft coverage. That's what we're going to do. We want to talk about Jerry. We'll talk about Steven. Steven is giving some insight, I believe, on what could transpire today. Yes, sir. Hallelujah. What up? Salute, my guy. Appreciate you. Calvin Jefferson, what's good? Yeah, good to see y'all in here early. Jenkins Gaming, what's going on? Serious question for the chat. And no, I'm not smoking anything. Can Dallas draft Sanders at 44 for trade bait for him or Milton? Oh, man, let me tell you something. The one thing you don't want to do is use Sanders for trade bait. Man, let me tell you something. Shedeur Sanders, this could be the best thing that happened to him. Because I'm telling y'all, if Shedeur Sanders would have went at number 3, the expectations, boy, y'all know people would have ate him alive as Deion's son. Who's to say? He may even go on the 3rd, but hey, it'll give him something to work toward. Maybe people won't put so many expectations on him. And then he comes back and be an absolute beast. But again, you don't want to be using Shedeur as any kind of trade bait. No, sir. Again, Calvin Jefferson, what's going on? We about to get into this. Hoodie Kush 81, my man, what up? The Queen, what's going on, my sister? Marcus Warner, good to see you. Tony Brown, what up? DC4L, Chill Wheel of New Jersey. He said, boy, you got me wrong. Chill Wheel of New Jersey, you better stop this, boy. You must be a Cowboy hater to say it. he said, get on Porter and the Kicker. Boy, you got me rolling up in here. Jim Van Meter, what's going on? My girl, Angie the Rebel Chicks, what is going on with you? Angie the Rebel Chicks. Send me an email. Send me an email today. I got something that I want to share with you. Send me an email and I'm going to send you something back. Skeptical fan, what's going on? He said dropping in just to say go Cowboys. Yes, sir. Joe Richardson Jr., what is going on? Hey, man, I'm liking it. I'm starting to like it. My girl Angie, she said hit that like button. I agree with her. My man, hey, what is going on? Hey. All right, we about to get into this. Cowboys Nation 600. Yes, sir. Well. What is going on with you? Let's get into this. We'll greet some more people as they come in. Some people probably saying, what is going on? We doing a pre-draft coverage, because we want to talk about Stephen Jones and what he's about to drop on us. Stephen Jones is about to drop. I think he's about to drop somewhat of an indicator of maybe what we can expect from the Cowboys tonight. Hold on just a second, Angie. Stephen Jones is letting us, I think he's letting us in on some things. All right, hold on just a second. Again, Stephen Jones, I'm telling you, Stephen Jones is letting us in on something. But I want to have a quick conversation about Tyler Booker being picked at number 12. The Cowboys, according to things that are coming down, the Cowboys did not have Tyler Booker. They had him at a first-round grade. And I made a mistake in my first video. I said he had 12 first-round grades. No, he was one of 12 first-round grades. That's what I meant. So the Cowboys were not actually anticipating getting Tyler Booker. It is now coming to fruition. The Cowboys actually thought they were going to get Ted McMillan. And if anybody saw Micah Parsons' reaction on the Bleacher Report, Micah Parsons was shocked when he was absolutely shocked when Ted McMillan wound up going. Who was it? I can't remember. Wasn't it Carolina that he wound up going to? They were shocked. I think Ted McMillan was the person who they had honed in on. I believe, from everything that I'm hearing, they were hoping. And hold on just a second. They were absolutely hoping that Ted McMillan was going to fall to him. And Ted McMillan didn't fall to him. They have 12 first-round grades on their board. So that means there are 11 more first-round grades left on the Dallas Cowboys board. So I'm sure they're kind of organized. Well, I shouldn't say 12 because some of those players are probably gone. So there were 12 first-round grades. And so, again, they're probably all gone. So let me say it like that. Those first-round grades are probably all gone. So now it comes down to who are the second-round grades. And if I'm not mistaken, Stephen Jones is even saying that there may be still some of those first-round grades left on the board. So we're going to see how do they work that board today. But, again, for all of us who think that Steven, Jerry, and Will went in here and just kind of said to heck with a skill player, Angie, I just put my email address in the chat. For everyone who thinks that the Cowboys just went into this thing and said, we don't care anything about skill players, calm down. That's actually not what happened. That is not what happened. What actually happened is the player that they targeted was not there. And it was Ted McMillan. Ted McMillan was the target, and Ted McMillan was gone. And I'm telling you, all you have to do is go look at Micah Parsons' response, because Micah Parsons said, That was our guy. And he wasn't saying anything bad about he wasn't saying anything derogatory towards Tyler Booker. I think the expectation in the building was they were going to get Ted McMillan. So don't think for a second, for everyone who wants to hate on the ownership, and I understand why we want to hate on the ownership, but let's understand that it wasn't just because they just wanted to get a lineman in the first round. The target was Ted McMillan, and they didn't get him. And I'm sure the other target was far-fetched. That other target was probably Ashton Genty. The other target was Ashton Genty. Let me give you another nugget. Just kind of reading through things and listening today. Let me get a couple of more greetings, and I'm going to give you another nugget. Doug Face, what is going on with you? Yes, sir. Ben, he said finishing up this 12 hour. Got to catch the show. Yes, sir. This is going to be a pre-show. We're going to be back again at 6:45, man. We're going to do day 2 because I am hoping that the Cowboys are really going to go and get somebody on, get a skill position today. And we could only see one, but I'm hoping we see 2. Jenkins, let me tell you something. I don't even think he's on the Cowboys board. I don't even think Shedeur Sanders is on the Cowboys board. I don't. Shedeur Sanders today is probably going to go to either Cleveland, maybe Cleveland I could see. I just don't think he's going to Pittsburgh. I don't think he's going to Pittsburgh. And I do think some of this is not about Shedeur. I think some of this is about his father. I don't think this is about him. I think these teams are sending a message to Deion Sanders telling him you're not running anything. I think that's what they're telling him. Ice Cold Cowboy in the crib, he said Browns taking Henderson first pick, and 3 picks later they will pick Shedeur Sanders. You know what? The Browns make sense to me. They need a quarterback. They're done with Deshaun Watson. It doesn't matter what Deshaun Watson does. It doesn't matter what Deshaun Watson do, short of taking them to a Super Bowl this season. Man, they don't care nothing about this thing with Deshaun Watson. They're just trying to get him up into that contract. That's all they're trying to do. Robert Simmons in the crib. Good to see you. Rico Jones. Yes, sir. Well. What's going on? Angie, she said, yes, talk about it, G. Michael was shocked. I also think Michael wanted the defensive tackle. Now, Rebel. Angie, the Rebel chicks, check this part out. So we were talking last night about this whole issue of why was Brian Schottenheimer saying character guy? Who was the player? I think it's players. And if the Cowboys don't take Luther Burden III tonight, if he's on the board when they get there at number 44, he falls into this category. The player, Angie, that the Cowboys, from what my understanding is, that Brian Schottenheimer wanted to or talk to Cowboys off the ledge of is Walter Nolan. I think that's his name. Nolan. Isn't he the defensive tackle? I think he's the defensive tackle. They had to be talked off of a ledge by Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer did not want him. This is another reason why. Walter Nolan, the guy from Ole Miss. Walter Nolan was on the Cowboys board as a first-round grade, and they were looking at Walter Nolan, and Brian Schottenheimer said no go. Brian Schottenheimer said no go. That's what the rumor is. He was the character guy. And again, if we're talking character, y'all can disagree with me. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to excoriate you. I'm not going to talk bad about you. Let me tell you something. I still say the best wide receiver, other than Travis Hunter, of the top 5 wide receivers, Luther Burden III. I am telling y'all, whoever get Luther Burden III, you watch what I tell you. Luther Burden III is the most complete, explosive wide receiver left in this draft. He is the most complete, explosive receiver. Now, understand what I'm telling you. I want you to think about when you think about the top 5 wide receivers. We're not going to include Travis Hunter. He's the unicorn. We don't even have to go there with Travis Hunter. So let's talk about the other 3. I said it before. Ted McMillan, pure wide receiver. What you're getting is route runner, big body, jump ability. You're getting those things. But what you're not getting the speed. You're not getting the burner. You're not getting the necessarily explosive wide receiver. But again, he makes up for that with size. He makes up for that with hands. He's that type of wide receiver. You think about Emeka Egbuka. Emeka, to me, is a very well-rounded receiver. He can run the routes. He can block in the run game. He can get some separation. He can run away from guys. He's got big playability. You think about Matthew Golden. People can say anything they want to about Matthew Golden. He did not play at 4.2 940 speed. He did not. Go look at the tape. You would not know Matthew Golden, and I think it shocked everyone. No one knew Matthew Golden was that fast. No one knew it. No one thought he was that fast. So when you go look at the tape, Matthew Golden doesn't jump off the tape like, this dude's a burner. He doesn't jump off the tape like that. And again, we're going to attribute some of this to, I think Quinn Ewers was a weak link in the Texas offense. I really do. Maybe he didn't have the arm talent to get the ball out there to Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden has got a lot of upside, because if a team can get him to play at that speed that he showcased at the combine, Matthew Golden is going to be a monster. Matthew Golden, chain mover, all these different things upside. But when you look at Luther Burden III, he's got some of all of them. He's got hands. He's got the route running. He's got football IQ even. Watch this dude on tape. He has football IQ. Big play ability. Watch this. He plays way faster than a 4.40. Luther Burden III plays way faster than a 4.40. Way faster. He plays way bigger than 6 feet tall. He's explosive off the line. Get separation. Man, when you want to talk about wiggle, you want to talk about moves, man, ball in his hands, yard after the catch. Not only will he outrun guys, he make guys miss. He makes guys miss. He makes contested catches. Spider-Man hands. He's got the combination of all of them in a sense. If the Cowboys don't take Luther Burden III tonight, it's telling us 2 things. 1, character. People say he's a diva. 2, it's telling us what they think about Jonathan Mingo. The Cowboys, I believe, still think Jonathan Mingo is a second-round wide receiver. They still have a number 2 grade on this dude. And I think it's going to show tonight in what they do. We'll see if they pick up Burden. If they leave Burden on that board, there is no way to me. And we're gonna roll this right into Stephen Jones, because Stephen Jones is going to say something about the wide receiver room. I want all of us to listen to carefully, because this may tell us exactly where they go tonight. Y'all forgive me. I'm still recovering from a cold that I got. Chanel said he gave it to me from texting to me. Somebody gave it to me, but again, I'll let you hear Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones is about to let us in on what the Cowboys may be doing tonight. And again, y'all brace yourselves, because we may be scratching our heads again tonight. We may be scratching our heads again tonight. Matter of fact, let me see. I probably can't. I was looking at it earlier. My man Jay Tuck said something tonight. Cowboys fan talk. I mean, not J Tuck. Cowboys fan talk. My man, Cowboys fan talk. He said something today on X, and I'm like, ooh. I forgot the guy. Let me see. Cowboy fans talk said for us to prepare ourselves for the Cowboys to not get a receiver today. I'm not trying to go there yet. I am not trying to go there yet. But he is saying the Cowboys, and this is what he's saying over on X. I'm like, please don't let it be so. Cowboys fan talk, please do not let this be so. He says the Cowboys are going to take Carson Schwessinger and D-tackle a corner. Woo, man. Man, I got to get myself prepared for this tonight. I have got to get myself prepared for this tonight. He says, I don't think the Cowboys will take a wide receiver at 44 or 76. Defense and running back are the agenda. And you know what? They went and got Dak Prescott. And I think the wide receiver was going to be for Dak Prescott, Ted McMillan. They couldn't get Dak Prescott the first present, so maybe they got Dak Prescott the second present. That is an offensive lineman. Tonight they go in and maybe they get Micah Parsons his present. Maybe they get him a defensive guy. We're gonna see. I'm telling y'all, if the Cowboys leave Luther Burden III on the board, it's telling us everything we need to know. If they leave Luther Burden III on the board, if he's there when the Cowboys get there, it has to be a character issue, because there is no way the Cowboys, and I've heard some people talk about Trey Harris and he nice. Man, let me tell y'all something. This dude, Luther Burden III, is crazy with it. Luther Burden III is crazy with it. But the issue is, will they be able, or will they want to deal with his attitude? Will they want to deal with his attitude? That's what it's going to come down to. And I don't even know where the attitude things come from, but that's what people say. Ice cold. That's what my man Cowboys fan talk is saying too. He's saying the cornerback may come into play. That's him. Jenkins Gaming. That's him. It's the linebacker out of UCLA. It's Carson Schwessinger. So we better prepare ourselves. We better prepare ourselves. Hallelujah. We better prepare ourselves. This may not be going the way we want it again. Big Dal 8604. He said, I'm sick of them. I'm just preparing us. Yes, sir. Okay, y'all call it Mr. Rome. Yeah, we better prepare ourselves. Andrew said, all Rome hope deflated yesterday. Hey, I'm still in the game. I was shocked yesterday, Andrew. I'm still in the game, though. I'm hoping today that if Burden is on that board, the Cowboys get Burden. Because I'm telling you, man, Burden is it. But again, before we go to Stephen Jones, I'm still not going to give up hope. There will be some wide receivers that the Cowboys could possibly still get. Savion Williams might still be back there at 4 or 5. Someone says the Cowboys don't have a 4. Just listen in a minute. You're going to see why I have a funny feeling that if someone is not there the Cowboys want, we may find ourselves with a number 4 pick again in this draft. We may find ourselves with a number 4 pick. See, Burleson, yes, sir. He said, salute, G. He said, get ready for defensive tackle. Man, I prepared myself, man. I'm preparing myself for the Cowboys to do something we didn't expect. Michael Smooth, he said, I don't think they're going to leave Luth on the board. Michael Smooth, if he there, I think they're going. I'm hoping and praying they take him. Neo, not from the Matrix, he says, I believe you when you say they love Mingo. Neo, they love Mingo. They consider him a number 2. I think they still got Mingo as a number 2 grade. I do. Dominique said, I'm throwing my phone tonight. Dominique, don't throw your phone. Oh, if you do, make sure you got a defender case on it. Prepare yourself, Dominique. I'm preparing myself. Because it seems like to me they're trying to build the trenches. If they can't get the guy they want, they're going to build the trenches. D Block, he said, we can't think like the Joneses when it comes to the draft. D Block 88. And if you let people tell it, this is Brian Schottenheimer. If you let people tell it, this is Brian Schottenheimer. Ice Cold said Rome. He said Rome left in ruins. Boy, y'all got me rolling. He said Rome left in ruins. Don't be the best. He said Brian Broder says Jerry wants to take a running back early. I think the running back they're going to take early, it'll be Travion Henderson at number 2, or it'll be Quinshon Judkins at number 3. And I'm going to tell you right now, do not get mad if they get Judkins at number 3. Judkins is a beast, y'all. Ohio State is a running back machine. And if I'm not mistaken, Judkins got 1,000 yards with the least amount of carries of almost any running back in this thing. Let me tell you something. This dude, Judkins, don't sleep on him. He's good too. He good with it too. Robert Griffin, appreciate you. He said Burden won't, Williams will. I'm telling you, man, this dude here gonna be nice. He is. Ty Church, what's going on? What's going on, family? Hungry Heifer, what's going on? Fish says rumors are they're drafted. No, it's not gonna happen. They're not gonna draft. They're not gonna draft Shedeur Sanders. The only way the Cowboys would draft Shedeur Sanders is that Shedeur Sanders would be hanging around in the 3rd. The Cowboys are not gonna draft Shedeur Sanders. It's not gonna happen. Jerry Jones trying to trade for Breece Hall. Say it ain't so. Go in the draft. Robert Simmons says there are rumors that we trade for Williams from the Lions. Oh, okay. That's what you meant up there when you said if not Burden, Williams. Okay. We're going to see. But I think if the Cowboys are smart, they're going to go to the draft. All right. I'm going to let you hear Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones is about to let us in on some things, guys, I believe. Check him out.
All right, we've got Stephen Jones ready to roll with us right now on 105.3 The Fan. Stephen, good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
We're doing good, but I'll be doing even better if you tell me that in the next 2 years, you guys will have the guts to draft 2 more offensive linemen named Tyler and really fill out this entire line.
That would probably be a reach and a stretch, but it's amazing how the great wall of Tylers come together.
I love it. I love it that you're already in on that. I was curious. I don't know what you can tell us on this. Is there was rumblings that late in y'all's pick window, Houston tried trading up. Can you tell us anything about that and if that is accurate?
Yeah, we had options and certainly looked at it, but just felt like for what they were offering to move up into that spot, we preferred doing the safe thing and taking a player that we had high on our board and taking a player that we think is going to be a special guy here for the next 10, 12 years. He's going to be Tyler Booker, but we've had some great guards around here and for 10 and 12 years at a time, and certainly see him and Tyler Smith continuing in that path.
If a team theory.
So again, the Cowboys couldn't get who they wanted. Who they wanted was Ted McMillan. They couldn't get Ted McMillan. The Houston Texans tried to make an offer. They lowballed the Cowboys. Someone reported that last night in the chat. They lowballed the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys felt like, excuse me, they felt like Booker, he had a number 1 grade on their board, and they decided to go with Booker. So I believe this is also telling us something else. The Cowboys only had 1 wide receiver with a 1st-round grade. It was Ted McMillan. We're going to give Travis Hunter respect, but that no one thought he was making it past 1 or 2 or 3. So they only had 1 1st-round grade wide receiver. It was Ted McMillan. they only had one first-round grade running back. That running back was Ashton Genty. That's what that's telling us also. So the Cowboys made their mind up, kind of like a lot of us thought, that if they didn't get those two, what we thought is that they were going to trade back. I think the Cowboys had planned on trading back. The problem is with the trade back. Who makes the phone call? Who makes the phone call? And so I guess Houston called him, but obviously Houston was saying, well, there's no alternative up there for you to draft, so we're going to lowball you. They didn't like what the Houston Texans were offering, so they took another one of their first-round grades. They took Tyler Booker. That's how this all came to be. And again, no knock on Tyler Booker, because if they picked him up, they had a first-round grade on him. And like Steven is saying, why trade out of that number 12? Because I think what they're thinking in their mind is, why are we going to trade the number 12 pick so that a person can come behind us and get the very player that we're not going to get more than likely? So they said no can do. They went ahead and took Tyler Booker. That's how that kind of came about.
Theoretically was going to drop from like 12 to 25. Would you want a second and a fourth? Is that kind of what the price looks like?
I mean, I think you need at least a second and a fourth, and probably more like a second and a third, a late third. Yeah.
I like that kind of negotiation.
See, this is exactly what I was saying a couple of days ago. That if the Cowboys were going to trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's the number 12 pick. I wouldn't be concerned about getting Pickens. It's a number 12 pick. That pick should garner you a second and a fourth or a second and a third. That was my thought process. Because if you get a second and a third or a second and a fourth, you don't need Pickens. What do you need Pickens for? Because you could either trade up, you could use one of those picks to trade up, or you could stand pat where you are, and you could have still got Booker and got a Mecca or another one of those wide receivers. So for the Cowboys, for them, they didn't feel like it was worth it, because that's not what they were offering, of course. I don't think the Houston Texans were, of course, they were not offering that. That's what Stephen Jones is saying. They tried to lowball them. And I think what the Texans were trying to do, they were trying to swap picks. They wanted to swap picks and give up maybe another pick and then get the Cowboys to go in next year's draft and get a player. The Cowboys aren't concerned about next year's draft. They're concerned about this year's draft. And so the Cowboys said no can do, and they decided to go ahead and get Tyler Booker. So again, that's how it came to be.
Stephen.
Yeah.
When we
can negotiate it. We can negotiate it right here.
Okay, so
unfortunately, that one's in the past.
Okay.
Negotiating a different one here tonight.
well, and speaking of that, the word is, and I would love your thoughts on this, that you guys have more than 12 names in mind for the second round, and y'all have the 12th pick. Could you find yourself in another scenario? I know it depends on how the board goes, where you are willing to trade back again or trade back?
Yeah, we certainly always consider it, and we have 10 picks, which is certainly a nice number to have, and we're in a mode now where we are into taking those picks and getting depth, and we feel like we've really done our homework on this draft and feel like we can get players throughout this draft. So we're fired up about that, and it's the right deal. We're there, and we still had still a handful of players left on the board that we liked. We'd certainly consider it. But at the same time, if we are narrowing it down and think that the right guy's there, we're certainly not afraid to take the pick either.
we're starting to see, or we're getting.
Okay. What's going on, Cool Coleman? Okay. Hallelujah. I think you could be correct right here. The Cowboys found a way last year to get back in the fourth round after they gave up that fourth round for Trey Lance. I still think the Cowboys are looking for their opportunity to get back into the fourth round. I don't think you can get back into the fourth round with the third round. I just don't think it's possible. The only way the Cowboys are getting back into that fourth round is with a second round pick. So something would have to happen to me for the Cowboys to say we're going to give up this number 44 pick. Luther Burden III is either off the board or he's off the Cowboys board. I'm going to find it hard to believe Luther Burden III on the board at number 44 and the Cowboys say, we don't want him. Luther Burden III, there's just no way. Now, when it comes to TreVeyon Henderson may very well be gone at 44. But if TreVeyon Henderson is there at 44, there's a possibility the Cowboys could take TreVeyon Henderson. But the Cowboys also may be taking a gamble on what is the gap between TreVeyon Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. What's the gap? And I think when you're talking about these two running backs, I really do think you're really talking about what type of philosophy are we going to have on offense? How am I going to use this running back? Because if you look at these two running backs, when you look at Quinshon, when you look at TreVeyon, Quinshon is more of the power back of those two. He's more of the power back. I would even consider him to be, man, if you got a 3rd and 1, I would probably want Quinshon Judkins running that 3rd and 1. Man, people were going crazy over the way that Ashton Jeanty was put together. Go look at some workout tape on Quinshon Judkins. Nothing to sneeze at. This dude is a workout warrior too. This dude he's going to be great for somebody. Quinshon Judkins is going to be great for somebody. So it all depends on who's there at 44. Because if they can't get one of those type of guys, and I haven't heard any defensive tackle, of any edge rusher per se that anyone would consider to be at a 44, that high of a grade. So if that's the case, this is going to be the Cowboys' opportunity. If they want that 4th round pick back, they got to get it in the 2nd round. And if they go backwards, I'm sure the Cowboys are thinking of names such as Bashul Tutin, Damian Martinez. You could probably get him even in further back. The Cowboys are probably thinking of some of those names. And as you talk about wide receivers, maybe the Cowboys, hey, man, we can get Trey Harris. Maybe they're thinking of guys like that. Maybe hey, man, we can go even further back. Maybe we can see what Dante Thornton is. If you want a big guy with speed, Dante Thornton is another big guy with speed. And again, I don't know. I wish I could see if Savion Williams was on the Cowboys board. Because I'm telling you, where if you think you're confident in your wide receiver room, Savion Williams is somebody that you can bring in and he would be a playmaker for you. Because again, the way you can use Savion Williams, maybe you use this dude in the backfield. You can use him on jet sweeps. You can use him on slant routes. I mean, you can use him on go routes. Savion Williams. If you just want to get that 4th round pick back and get back there a little bit, I'm just saying, the Cowboys may be looking at this draft and thinking, there's a lot of depth at running back and wide receiver. I'm hoping this is not how they're thinking, because I want them to get the best receiver on the board there tonight, in particular, if Luther Burden III is there. I want them to get the best wide receiver on the board, and that would be Luther Burden III. But again, if they want to get back in this 2nd round, in this 4th round, this round is the only way they're going to be able to do it. It's the only way they're going to do it. It's the only way they're going to do it. So let me let you in on some again. Let's listen to something Steven's going to say. He's giving some more insight. Check him out.
Getting our opportunities, Stephen, to see the passion, the intensity of Tyler Booker. Is that, or what we're seeing right now, is that what you guys saw when y'all had the interviews with him, when y'all met him, that this dude has this type of passion for the game?
Absolutely. He's got those type of intangibles. That's why the more we had him, he brings a lot more, although that's a front and center of being a great football player in the SEC and certainly playing at a dominant type level. But his football character, his leadership, what he'll bring to that room, is something that's hard to measure. And certainly you're seeing it with him. It's real. It's not something that he's putting on a show out there. He plays that way. He feels that way. He leads that way. And that's why we felt like he was the right guy for us. And certainly when you're in the NFC East where you're going against some great tackles, you've got to really make sure that you match up, because we're going to see, 6 games every year where they got dominant type tackles, and for them not to be able to move them around now to avoid Tyler Smith or that type of thing's a big deal for us. So they'll have to pick their poison, as we said, between one of the two Tylers in terms of the interior line, and that's what we're up against every year, and we really wanted to solidify that and think we have now with Tyler Booker.
Yeah, I don't want this.
So let's think about Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker was the Philadelphia Eagle pick because that was one of the first players that Micah Parsons mentioned. This is the Philadelphia Eagles answer. That's what Tyler Booker is. And if you look at what people were doing in the draft last night, they were trying to have an answer for this Philadelphia Eagle pass rush, this Los Angeles Rams. Their pass rush was just as ferocious. They just didn't have the weapons on offense the way that the Philadelphia Eagles did. The Rams got a ferocious defensive line. In the AFC, the Houston Texans, man, they mess around and get some weapons on the outside, man. They have a devastating defensive line. Teams are trying to get better in the trenches to be able to battle those types of teams. Los Altos, you make a great point about Jaden Higgins. Jaden Higgins is another big body wide receiver that can catch the contested balls. That would be great down there in the red zone. As we speak, I'm actually looking at tape. I'm looking at it right here to my right. The Cowboys may be thinking they can move down and get him. Humongous wide receiver. He looks like a tight end. Dude look like a tight end. The Cowboys may be thinking that, hey, man, we got options if we want to go back. And I think they're trying their best to get back in that 4th round. I think they're trying to get back in that 4th round. And if they're going to get back in that 4th round, this is the only way they're going to do it. USMC, he said he doubt Burden. USMC says he doubts that Burden will be there. Again, and they may be already anticipating this. And this is kind of how, if you listen to Steven, they're going to be very open to trading that number 44. They're going to be very open to trading back. I think the Cowboys are going to figure out a way to get back in the 4th round. And if they're going to do it, it's going to be the 2nd round.
To sound as a negative, but it did we heard leadership a lot about him. Was there question of the leadership that was already there with your offensive line, and you were like, we need to kind of bolster that some more?
Well, anytime you lose 2 Hall of Fame players in Tyron Smith and Zach Martin, you're going to feel it. I mean, you're going to fill a void. We're talking about 2 guys that are going to be wearing gold jackets. And certainly it was their room, and everybody looked up to him. And I think Tyler Smith is certainly stepping up, and certainly see here with his play style that goes into his leadership and football character. I certainly see Tyler Booker fitting into that role as well, early and often, and not to mention the fact we've got we got 3 other great young guys in Terrence Steele and BB and Tyler Guyton. So the room's really coming together, and we feel like in the NFC you should need that.
Is Terrence Steele, I know you just said it, is he still viewed as a younger player even though he's got a lot of experience on this offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, I think in football years he's not 30 yet, and, it's just a young offensive line that I think the The very best is yet to come. And as I said, I mean, it's a matchup thing in the East. When you got 6 of your 17 games, you know who they are every year regardless.
How many first-round grades did y'all have this year? I know that came up on Tuesday, and y'all were like, hey, we're still finalizing it. Do you know the number that y'all had going into the draft last night?
We ended up with 13.
Are there any more first-round grades available on your board?
There actually are. It just shows you how the league can see things differently, and but we certainly have some first-round grades left on our board.
Now, you talked about trading down, and I get it. Talent acquisition can go any number of ways, but if you've got the 12th pick, there's still first-round grades on your board. Would there be a scenario in which you were like, hey, let's make a move up and make sure we get one of those first-round grades?
No, it's so costly to move up, and we really like the way we put our board together. As I said, we like players throughout this draft, depending on where you're picking. And, we just to move up, in this part of the draft, it's really expensive, and, we really like our draft capital. But, if there was something that was just obvious, we'd never rule it out. But right now, my thoughts would be we either pick a player because we think there's going to be a damn good one there, or maybe pick up an extra pick and move down a little bit.
Yeah, the damn good one is something I'm all after, too.
Oh, yeah.
And that being said, Kevin and I, we were.
You think about what he just said. So when you get to this point in the draft, because the Cowboys are really in the Cowboys are still in the range to where you can get some really good players, but they're also in that zone to where how much better are the players than the players below them? So for me, Bird the third is one of these players that I think he's one of the day one starting wide receivers. But again, just looking at this guy, Higgins, man, this guy is a giant. This guy looks like a man playing amongst boys. He's got a lot more weight, too, than when you think about a guy like Ted McMillan, who's a lot slimmer. I mean, this guy is a big wide receiver. Humongous wide receiver. Chain mover, all those things. Man, these guys might be in the play for the Cowboys. Some of these guys back here that no one's thinking about, these guys, the Cowboys may be projecting on their board saying, man, we could go and get some of these guys down at the bottom of this draft. Because I do believe the Cowboys are going to give Jonathan Mingo an opportunity to be the number 2 receiver on this team. And if they draft one of these guys like Higgins, they're going to give him the opportunity to even challenge him as the number 2 receiver on this team. I would love to know who are these players they still got these number 1 grades on with round 1 over. Who are the ones they have with these who are the guys that got with these number 1 grades? All right. You said Kyle Williams. All right, I'm going to play Kyle Williams real quick and let you hear the next thing from Stephen Jones.
We're looking at it yesterday, and it seems like more running backs fell than we expected. More quarterbacks fell into the next rounds than we expected. And if there's a glut there in round 2, do you say, no, we can go in round 3 for a potential running back, or is there a specific guy that you're like, no, that's the one we want?
Well, that's what you always consider. Certainly, we have grades throughout the draft in terms of the running back position, and we do think the running back position is deep in terms of what's available out there, and you can get good backs throughout this draft. So that's something we consider, but obviously you have first, second, third, fourth, right on down the line grades on all of them, and the reason you have first and second round grades on some of them and fourth on the others is you obviously feel a lot better about the ones with the higher grades.
Do you feel like the team is in a position where they need to draft a running back?
Oh, I like what we did in free agency. That's one of the things we like to accomplish in free agency.
Hold on a second, Steven. Now Steven can't be serious right here. Now I'm hearing him talk about the wide receiver room, and I know what he's talking about in the wide receiver room. In the wide receiver room, he's talking about Tolbert. He's talking about Mingo. He's talking about Flanoy. I know what he's talking about in the wide receiver room. We don't have to count CeeDee Lamb. We know what he's talking about in the wide receiver room. But the running back room, Steven, stop it. Stop it. There is no way the Cowboys think their running back room right now is adequate. There is no way. Looking at this dude, Kyle Williams. Yeah, he's the truth too. Fast, quick, and again, man, big playability crazy. The dude had he only had 70 catches with 1,198 yards. Whew! That's crazy work. That's crazy work. Yeah, break tackles. Yeah, he nice. The Cowboys, man, I'm telling you, this is the opportunity. If the Cowboys, maybe they got some of these guys on their board to say that we can trade back and get some of these guys. Maybe this is where they are. Because if they're getting back in the fourth round, this is the round. This is the round. If they want to get back in that fourth round, this is the round. They got to get back in there. But Steven, come on, bro. There is no way. There is no way the Cowboys could be saying that their current running back depth chart, they're happy. No, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Now, look at this. So you're telling me you're happy, or you're saying that your running back room with Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders and Deuce Vaughn and Malik Davis. No, stop it. Steven, you can't even be real on that one. No, the Cowboys have got to get a running back tonight. I don't care if it's the third round. The Cowboys have got to get a running back. Now, the reason why I say they have to get one tonight, and y'all tell me what you think, because the Cowboys need a starting running back with the other two running backs sprinkled in for specialty type plays. They need a workhorse running back. If the Cowboys don't get a running back tonight, that means that the other running back they may get back there in the fifth would be more of a running back by committee running back. The running back by committee, I do not think it works well. I do not think it works well. If you're going to do a 1-2 punch, and I mean one of these running backs, if you're going to do a 1-2 punch, I'm sorry, one of these running backs has to punch. We're not talking about two guys that just get you 2 and 3, 4 yards here. No, if you're going to have a 1-2 punch, you need a guy that absolutely punches, that guts people for 15, 20, 25, can hit his head on the goalpost. One of those running backs has got to be able to gut a defense. You can't just have two ball possession running backs, and long drives are fine. But the longer the drive, the more chance for a mistake. You do need to put teams on notice that we can do a long drive on you. Make no mistake about it. But if we catch you sleeping, we can hit our head on the goalpost. They got to get one of those running backs. And I think Travion Henderson or Quinshon Judkins, and there are some of these other running backs too. Again, I think Bashul Tootin is going to be one of those type of running backs with the speed that he has. He'll be a one-cut type running back and gone to the crib if you give him that opening. But again, there is no way Stephen Jones could be for real about this running back room. There's no way.
Get some guys in and feel like we did that. And so, we don't really feel like we have to pick a position anywhere in terms of, our depth and what goes there. That's how you make mistakes when you just say, hey, we've got a draft for need here. I think you make mistakes that way. Certainly, don't get me wrong, it comes into everybody's pick when you're looking at players up there. But we don't feel the need to have to reach and take a player, quite a bit down the line just because we need a position.
I promise I was listening to your answer. I heard your answer. I did just want to follow up. Same thing goes for wide receiver then, where it feels like maybe there is more of a pressing need.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we think we've got some really good receivers on this team. I think, once you get past the spot where you're not getting a true number two, then, I think we've got a handful of receivers that fit the, 3, 4.
Hold the press. Hold the press. Did you hear what he just said? Let me let you hear it again. When I heard this today, boy, this got my spidey senses tingling. Listen to what he says right here. This is a clear indicator of what does their board look like? What does the Cowboys board look like? Listen to Stephen Jones again. Check this part out.
And take a player, quite a bit down the line just because we need a position.
I promise I was listening to your answer. I heard your answer. I did just want to follow up. Same thing goes for wide receiver then, where it feels like maybe there is more of a pressing need.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we think we've got some really good receivers on this team. I think, once you get past the spot where you're not getting a true number two, then
he said, once you get past the spot where you're not getting a true number two. So they like what they have in the wide receiver room, but they don't consider, it sounds like, at least at this point, it doesn't sound like they have what they call a true number two. But again, I do think they see Mingo as a number three. And Tolbert, to me, is on the bubble. I think Tolbert is on the bubble for the Cowboys, even though he had the most touchdowns last year. If you think about Tolbert, but he's very inconsistent. He's very inconsistent. He doesn't fare well against, I'm not even talking about number one cornerbacks. He does not fare well against even number two cornerbacks. He doesn't fare well. Tolbert and Mingo will be battling for number three if they get a number two. Now the question is, what is the threshold for the true number two wide receiver? And this is the very reason why I truly believe Luther Burden III tonight. If that dude is off the board by the time the Cowboys get there, Cowboys are probably they'll probably trade back if Travion Henderson is out there, but they're saying something. What is the threshold? I wonder what is the threshold for what they're calling the true number two. So it leads me to believe that on their board, they still have what they're deeming as the true number two wide receiver. That wide receiver is still there. And let's look at something real quick. We'll throw out some names. That's very interesting what he says there. Once you hit the threshold. So what is the threshold? What is the threshold? So we already know Travis Hunter is gone. McMillan is gone. Golden is gone. Now, NFL Draft Buzz actually moved Luther Burden III above Emeka Egbuka. So Emeka is 5, Luther Burden III is 4. But Emeka is gone to Tampa Bay, so we still have Luther Burden III. Now, number 6, Jaden Higgins. Jaden Higgins is number 6. Number 7, Trey Harris. Both of these are big body wide receivers. Jaden Higgins is 6'4", runs a 4.47. That is dynamite. Trey Higgins, 6'3", runs a 4.540. No slouch. Number 8, Jalen Noel, probably not being considered. Jalen Royals, probably not being considered. Jack Beck, I wonder if they consider him at that threshold. He's at number 10, but I got a feeling that Jack Beck is probably not what they consider to be that receiver. So I'm going to take a wild guess here. Y'all tell me what you think. Listening to Stephen Jones, I think the cutoff is Trey Harris. The dude, he said, thank you, G. Finally, I hear someone say exactly the word that reminded me of Tolbert last season. Inconsistent. Very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. You don't know which Jalen Tolbert you're getting. Am I getting the Jalen Tolbert that caught the pass am I getting the Jalen Tolbert who caught the winning pass in the Pittsburgh game? Or am I getting the Jalen Tolbert against the Philadelphia Eagles who looked like a deer in headlights? I mean, which one of them am I getting? Who am I getting? I don't know who I'm getting with Jalen Tolbert. Week to week, I don't know what I'm getting. He never established himself as, hey, man, I'm that number 2. No, he looked like a number 3. It was too much for him. I think that was too much for him. And I think he's trying to take steps. But, man, you're talking about 4th year in the league, bro. Let me tell you something about wide receivers. We're typically not giving you as a wide receiver, man. We're not giving you 4 years to be the number 2 wide receiver, bro. If you are the number 2 wide receiver, we want to see flashes in the first year, and we want to see definitively in the second year, bro, you the number 2. We're not waiting to year 3, bro. It's another draft coming around by year 3, man. You being relegated to the 3rd wide receiver and probably on your way to the 4th. And by year number 4, bro, you ain't getting too many chances. I'm just telling us. Jonathan Mingo is going to clip Tolbert out, I believe. Because if they get one of these guys, Burden, Higgins, or Harris, I'm thinking that's the cutoff. Y'all tell me what you think. I think this could be the cutoff that Stephen Jones is talking about. I think this would be the cutoff. Oh, I'm telling you, if Higgins comes in, he's immediately the number 2. If Higgins comes to the Cowboys, he's immediately the number 2. Just based on size and speed alone, Higgins is the number 2 when he comes in here. Tolbert will be battling Mingo for the number 3. And, man, let me tell you something. I would not mind seeing CeeDee Lamb, yards after the catch monster, big playability, Spider-Man hands, sneaky fast, very slippery. I would love to see CeeDee Lamb, big body Jaden Higgins. I mean, humongous wide receiver, big body Jay Higgins, and Jonathan Mingo. Whoo, boy, that is a trio right there, man. That is a trio. And then still have Kevontae Turpin coming in as our 4th wide receiver whenever we want to run quads. Woo, man. Man, you're talking about a wide receiver room that if you want to talk about Dak friendly, that's Dak friendly. That is Dak friendly. And you'll still have Flournoy. Get rid of both of the Jalens. You still have Ryan Flournoy. I like that wide receiver room. I'm wondering if Trey Harris is the cutoff. I'm wondering if he's the cutoff. So if Burden, Higgins, and Harris are there tonight at 44, will the Cowboys take them? I tell you this, they take any one of those 4, I'm jumping for joy. I am jumping for joy if they take one of those wide receivers. I absolutely am jumping for joy. And again, there's another guy back here in this wide receiver game that won't hurt my feelings. When you look back here further, there are another couple of big-bodied receivers back here. I'm not sure if they're counting them. But again, I'm sorry, bro. Savion Williams to me, man. Whew. Savion Williams, man. I would not be mad if the Cowboys got Savion Williams. I wouldn't be mad if the Cowboys got Dante Thornton. Both of those wide receivers may be a little too low. I see Kyle Williams back here at number 20, but again, I'm wondering when Stephen Jones says, when you get beyond the true number 2 receivers, what's the cutoff? Who's on that list? What's the cutoff? I'm wondering. Lord Nova, what's going on? I'm wondering what's the cutoff. Hungry Heifer, they may be seeing this the same way. Wide receiver may not be as important, but I do think there are a lot of people, Hungry Heifer. I do believe there are a lot of people who would probably argue with you. And some may just say they're equally important. Some may say they're equally important. But I tell you this, Hungry Heifer, think on this. I think the further down the line the Cowboys get at wide receiver, it gets to the point of, is our wide receiver room better than what we're going to get further down the road? It's not like that at the running back position. The Cowboys could actually go to the 3rd round in the running back position and still be absolutely good. The Cowboys can still be absolutely good because I believe Bashul Tutin is probably going to go in the 3rd and will probably be there when the Cowboys get there. Damian Martinez, I think they got him ranked as a 4th rounder. 4th or maybe even a 5th rounder. You can get a very good running back, even if, and we don't want them to do it, but even if they decided to go to the 3rd on a running back. But the wide receiver is key to what he's saying. The further you go down the line on the wide receiver. So when do you get past number 2 wide receiver status? When do you get to wide receiver status that says, well, that's Mingo? So if we get to the status of where we say that's Mingo, why do we go get another Mingo when we already have Mingo? So it is imperative for them, at least in my estimation, Hungry Heifer, they need to get this wide receiver sooner because Steven is saying something. The further you go down, the less the value. The less the value. And I'll be honest with you. I just think that if you got 1st round grades on Burden, if you got a 1st round grade on Higgins, if you got a 1st round grade on Trey Harris, doggone it, do not let those 3 wide receivers. Don't take a chance. Do not take a chance. I got a strange feeling the Mecca will probably disappear before he gets to the Cowboys. Don't take the chance. Don't take the chance. Go ahead and get him. Unless someone is coming up and they're going to give you an offer to where you say we can fall back and we can still get Higgins, or we can still get Trey Harris and get a 4th round pick too, don't do it. Go ahead, get Higgins, because I do think the bigger wide receivers can help the Cowboys. I think this is one of the things that they plagued Dak Prescott with the last 3 years, even though Dak Prescott did well with it. How much better would Dak Prescott have done against some of these teams that we've said he's faltered with if he had bigger, stronger receivers? They matter. As San Francisco, they matter. Deebo Samuel, when you get into these games, when you know it's going to be a defensive battle, you want to get that ball in the hands of rough and tough playmakers. We've had the finesse guys. We haven't had the downright dirty, nasty players. CeeDee Lamb is not that guy. And I love CeeDee Lamb for that. He's not that guy. CeeDee Lamb, as Angie calls him, CeeDee Lamb is our supermodel. Okay, we know what he is. Don't mean he's not tough, but he's also a finesse wide receiver. We don't want CeeDee Lamb getting banged up like he did last year. We don't want that. No, we don't want to see that again. CeeDee Lamb won't last another season like that. No, he's our finesse wide receiver. He's our yards after the catch, slippery, make guys miss, run it to the crib wide receiver. But where's our dirty, nasty wide receiver? Where's our dirty, nasty wide receiver that we say, CeeDee Lamb, don't worry about it. We're not trying to throw you this slant route, man. We're trying to save you for the big plays. We need this other wide receiver that this guy, when we say it's a 3rd and 4, and he's over there lined up on the right side, he's lined up on a cornerback who's 5'10". We need that wide receiver to say, hey, he's a mismatch all day long. We had Brandon Cook. Man, you're not beating Green Bay with Brandon Cook. You're not beating Green Bay rushing 4 and dropping 7 with small wide receivers. You can beat Green Bay. You can beat Philadelphia. You can beat Washington if they rush 4 and drop 7 when you got bigger receivers. Why? Bigger catch radiuses. Bigger catch radiuses. Throw the ball higher. Throw the ball further outside. You can throw it right to them for contested catches. They can beat those smaller, average-sized cornerbacks. The Cowboys owe it to themselves. They need to get another. If you don't get a big play, I give Luther Burden the 3rd. He goes against my rules for wide receivers. He's a little small, but when I look at his playability, big playability, it's crazy. But here we are. Higgins is going to be right there. Higgins is right there. Trey Harris. I would love to be a fly on the wall so I can see where do they have these receivers graded. Where do they have these receivers graded, man? Because if they have these receivers graded, hey, we might see something tonight. We may see something tonight. Hallelujah. We might be screaming hallelujah tonight. I want to know where they have these wide receivers rated, man. The Cowboys got opportunities still. They still have opportunities to get it. Albert Sykes, he says, I'm curious why fans think their idea of need is what scouts. Oh, I don't. Trust me. This is wishful thinking on my part, Albert Sykes. This is wishful thinking on my part. This is why I keep saying I wish I could be a fly on the wall, because the question becomes, Steven just let us in, Albert Sykes. He just let us in on what they're thinking tonight on their board. What wide receiver? Where is the threshold to where you get beyond the number 2? Because they're talking about a wide receiver that is going to come in and be a starting wide receiver. So the question is, where is that threshold? Where is it? Where's that threshold? Is it Trey Higgins? Is it Jaden Higgins? Is it Trey Harris? Where is that threshold? I got a feeling that's probably the cutoff. I don't think they probably have a top 10 first round great wide receivers. They probably are cutting off at Trey Harris. And if you want to act real funny, they could be cutting off at Jaden Higgins. But we'll put some respect on Trey Harris' name. So Trey Harris might be the cutoff. So if Trey Harris is the cutoff, will they go running back in the second? Do the Cowboys think, though, but we could still go further down the line and get a good running back? Because I kind of say that once you get past Quinshon Judkins, but once you get past Quinshon Judkins, maybe everyone starts to have some questions. But then again, for me, I think when you get to Bashul Tootin, I'm sorry, I'd take a chance on Bashul Tootin. If I couldn't get Henderson, if I couldn't get Judkins, and I wanted to trade back and get that 4th rounder, then wherever I traded back late in that second, I would see first if one of the wide receivers are still there, in particular Higgins, because if you're after the bigger body receiver to take the place of one Ted McMillan that you didn't get, he's the one that fits the closest bill. He's 6'4". Trey Harris is after him. He's 6'3". Higgins seems to play. He's only 5 pounds heavier than Harris, but he plays. You think about it. Higgins is heavier than Harris, taller than Harris, but he's faster. So for me, and just looking at the tape on both of them just a minute ago, just on what I've seen, Higgins would be the shoe-in for me. If I could trade back, get a 4th, get Higgins, and then go in the 4th round, go in the 3rd round, and get Bashul Tootin, that 4th rounder I pick up, hey man, defensive tackle. Defensive tackle with that 4th rounder or cornerback, one of the two. I'm actually hoping that the Cowboys bring in Stephon Gilmore, though. I'm actually hoping the Cowboys pick up Stephon Gilmore. Let me go to your chat real quick, and then I'm gonna go back and we're gonna hear the last of this thing with Stephen Jones. But that thing with the wide receiver, the running back thing he said is ludicrous to me. The running back thing is ludicrous. Nah, bro, y'all have not done enough in that running back room. You got to stop letting Deuce Vaughn be the sentimental player because his father is on the team. Is on the team. No, man, Deuce Vaughn does. I do not see how he fits into a violent run game. I just don't see how he fits. I don't. Go in there and get you a running back also. The dude said, in my days in upper management corporate world, he said, I've come across many that remind me of Steven, and I'm sorry to say I don't think he's got the salesman instinct when it comes to calling other teams. I don't either. I agree with you. I don't think he does either. Don't know be the best. He said he likes Higgins. The dude said getting deals done that need to be done when it comes to trades, whether draft or pro players. I don't either. I agree with you, dude. I do. I agree with you. Genetically modified innovations. What's going on? He said, I like what you just said. Yes, sir. Hey, man, I'm telling us. The Cowboys still got opportunities. They still have opportunities. They have opportunities. All they have to do is do it. Hungry says, what opens up the passing game is having a great run game. We see when we let Dak throw more than 30 times. Yeah, and that's any quarterback, Hungry Heifer. I agree with you there. And I do believe, though, again, the depth is at the running back position. The depth is there. Because for me, I already know who I would be targeting in the third if I want to trade back, and if I can get Higgins, trade back. I already know who I'm targeting in the third. It's Bashul Tootin. It's a no-brainer for me. I'm targeting Bashul Tootin. Go look at the tape on this dude. He's big and he's fast. Man, this dude will hit you with one cut. He hit you with one cut and gone to the crib on you. Bashul Tootin is a monster. I'm hoping that the Cowboys are really thinking along those lines because I got a feeling the Cowboys are going to get that fourth-round pick back tonight. Albert Sykes, team can't be properly equipped in 1 year. We'll compete this year, but not for a Super Bowl. Rome wasn't built in one day. Patience is warranted. Albert Sykes, I've already been saying this for weeks. Stephen Jones said his goal was to have the best roster in the NFL. That takes about 2 to 3 seasons. You don't build that in one season. They're setting the foundation for doing that. And the Cowboys are going to be a lot more competitive than people believe this year. They might even scare us. I think they're going to win at least one playoff game. They might even scare us, and they might shock us and could even shock us and win a second one. I think they'll win one. I think they'll win one playoff game this year, and I think they'll be close in another. But I think we're going to be excited about the next season because Brian Schottenheimer and his crew, they're going to make tremendous strides. And then next year, boy, let me tell you, BPA will be in full effect for the Cowboys. It'll be quality over quantity. It'll be quality over quantity, and then the Cowboys will really be nasty next year. But we're gonna enjoy this year. We're not gonna get too far ahead of ourselves. Blue Star, what's going up? Yes, sir. What's going on? He said, "What's up, G? Happy Friday." Yes, sir. Man, I'm hoping Jerry make a splash today too. Speak it into existence. Jenkins game, and he said this team is 50% Jalen's. Boy, you ain't lying, boy. They love these Jalen's and Tylers, man. They really do. Man. Daniel M., if Thornton is our pick at 76, I'm not going to be mad. Big body wide receiver, and he is super fast. Super fast, he is. Don Bond, no, the league is disagreeing with you. The Cowboys don't need Shador. The teams that need Shador, I think the dad doesn't want him, don't want Shador playing for him. Nah, we don't need him. Damian Martinez, yeah. Don't know be the best. Damian Martinez, I think he's a guy the Cowboys have targeted. I wouldn't be shocked if they got him back there. Yeah, nobody's trading up for Shador. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, Dag Lib, it's not happening, is it, bro? No, man. I think this league is sending the message to Deion Sanders. USMC, he says, I bet Tootin late second, early third. Man, this dude is, yeah, he says just close enough fire us to be hopeful. Man, Tootin, man, this dude is nasty, man. Dallas Cowboy 92, he said, what if they trade for, oh, no, they're not going to do Pickens. Dallas Cowboy 92, if they're talking about behavioral issues, Character issues, no, Pickens won't be it. He's a guy you have to manage. No, Hungry Heifer, I think they'll go D-line in the 4th round. They'll go D-line in the 4th round if they get it back. And I do think they're going to get it back tonight. We'll see, though. Yeah, we'll absolutely see tonight. But I got a funny feeling the Cowboys are going to try to get that 4th rounder back tonight. KC, he said, I think that's why they traded for Mingo. He had a 2nd-round grade. I've been saying it. And I think they still have a 2nd-round grade on him. And they knew no wide receiver in this year would have the same grade in the 4th this year. Yeah, I'm telling them. So, again, KC, I want to know what that threshold is. Stephen Jones said once you get past that true number 2 receiver, that's going to be. We'll know tonight where that is. We're going to know tonight where that is. For sure, we're going to know where that is tonight. Because if they don't get that wide receiver in the 2nd round, they're telling us that wide receiver isn't there. But I'm interested to know if Jaden Higgins and Trey Harris is on that list. Because if Burden, Higgins, Harris is on that board and the Cowboys pass him up, oh, man, they better make sure they get them boys next. Gooby said he wants a running back over wide receiver. All right, let's hear the rest of this thing with Stephen Jones, guys. Then we're going to get out of here. I'm going to take a break, and then we're going to be back tonight at 6:45.
And, I think we've got a handful of receivers that fit the, 3, 4, 5, 6 position receiver role on our team. And I feel like there's great competition there. And we do feel like we've got a couple of receivers, that could ultimately, develop into that 2 spot. But, we do feel like we've got great depth there.
Hold on. Steven just told us again. Mingo and Tolbert will be battling for that 3rd spot. The Cowboys tonight, I do believe they take a wide receiver. I do believe they take a wide receiver with that 2nd pick if they don't trade back. They take a wide receiver, and it will be between Higgins, Burden, and Harris. Higgins, Burden, or Harris. They do take a wide receiver tonight at number 2 because Steven just said it. They have a room full of 3s, 4s, and 5s. Man, y'all tell me this. Tell me this, guys. How would you feel sitting in that wide receiver room? Tell me how y'all feel sitting in the wide receiver room for the Dallas Cowboys right now. You're in the Dallas. You're a wide receiver. You're a wide receiver on Dallas Cowboys team right now. Tell me how you feel when you hear Stephen Jones make this comment. Tell me how you feel. You a wide receiver. Boy, this is crazy right here. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with it. But man, boy, to be a wide receiver on this team and to hear that, man, that's crazy work. That's crazy work right there, man. And I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying, boy, I'd be feeling some type of way, man. I'd be feeling some type of way right now if I was one of these wide receivers on the Dallas Cowboys team. I'd be feeling some type of way. I would be feeling some type of way, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm telling you right now, I'd be feeling some type of way. The coldest, come on, man. The league is not agreeing with you. My man Chanel, what's going on? He said Burden. The dude, he said, yeah, but I'm not sure if the wide receiver left on the board can be trusted with that wide receiver 2 slot as a rookie. The dude, Stephen Jones, just said something. They don't have a number 2. He said they have a couple of guys that have the potential to develop Mingo and Tolbert. And that could even be Mingo and Flournoy. Man, I'd be feeling some type of way right now if I was on this team. Y'all tell me what you think. USMC, appreciate that super chat. USMC says best move is Judkins or Caleb Johnson. Try corner in the 3rd, in the 5th. Get tier 1 tech in Jordan Phillips. We're gonna see. I got a feeling just listening to Stephen Jones, they have about 3 to 4 receivers in that number 2 grade. They have about 3 or 4 receivers. If they're gone, the Cowboys will probably trade back. But I got a feeling they all won't be gone. I have a feeling they won't be gone. Hallelujah. No worries. They can come all they want to, but Shador ain't coming to the Cowboys. And we're praying for Shador to go to somebody because, man, they might send, man, Shador could go to the third. As crazy as it sounds, Shador could go to the third. Tony Brown, he said, talking into existence, G. Yes, sir. Man, I'm telling you. Dakota said, ain't no way I'm paying Dak another overpriced contract. Give me Shador. Dakota, it's too late. And I'm not calling it overpriced. It's too late. No, you gotta cash in on this contract, Dakota. You thinking too far down the line. And I keep hearing somebody say the Cowboys can get from up under Dak's contract in 3 years. They're not. They do not have their minds. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry, you pundits who think you have all the insight. If you look at Dak Prescott's deal, it is not designed for Dak Prescott to leave the Dallas Cowboys. It is designed for Dak Prescott to retire a Dallas Cowboy. That is how it is designed. I believe they both parties sat down and this is what they came up with. Enough of the Dak Prescott stuff. It ain't happening. Chanel, the league told you how they feel about Shador, and they're still telling the league how they feel about Shador. No one has a clue where he's going. No one has a clue. Los Altos, Higgins, then trade back to get a running back. The running back position is deep, Los Altos. It is deep, and it is very much a move the Cowboys could pull off. The running back. If y'all remember something that Brian Schottenheimer said in his press conference, he said there is depth at the defensive line and at the running back position. The Cowboys don't mind going back in the third, the fourth, or the fifth to get probably that D-line player and getting that running back in the third. But I do believe at number 2 tonight, they take a wide receiver. I'm just saying. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be right. Not saying I'm Nostradamus. Just saying.
After it gets to a certain point, we do feel like, we have a lot of guys that are, fit that 3 position down role. And feel good about the group of receivers, feel good about the room. Obviously, we, said coming into the draft, if the right guy opposite of CD that could step in and be that number 2 was there, we'd certainly look at it.
That guy was Ted McMillan. Now, the question is, do they have another guy that after they got there, now that they've got an interior offensive lineman, now is there another guy that they feel could be that number 2? We're going to find out tonight for sure. We're about to find out tonight.
I always love the functionality of the business part of it, the work that goes into it. Do you come in this morning and you're like, okay, now let's reset and everything, or did you guys walk away last night going, we have some really good ideas of what we're going to do tomorrow?
Well, your board gives you your good ideas,
Good.
and we sat there and looked at it, and they're sitting right there for you to look at.
Yeah.
And we're looking at the, top 15 guys left on our board, and those are our best ideas we got. I can assure you, we'll do a little looking at that and just making sure we got them right. There's nothing we're missing, and continue to respect all the work that's gone into the board that we've put up.
Kevin, that sounds like what you always say about being prepared for a test. The test is here, and now
Yes.
we're good to go. The line that we heard from Tyler Booker was he loves to see the life leave their eyes as they're losing the battles against him. Is that going to become a pre-draft question from now on? How much do you like to see the opponent's life leave their eyes?
Yes, I don't think I've ever seen one that good, and certainly that's the way he plays. You flip on the tape and watch him go. He's all day, and it's every play, and he certainly plays the game that way. He certainly prepares himself that way. He certainly leads that way. And I think I did get a quick peek at a podcast with Mike on it, and I think
Yes.
Mike about jumped out of his chair when he was saying that. He said, I'm totally in now. This is my guy. So you got to love it. And, of course, I know Mike has been against some great ones in this league and guys who are all day and give him fits. But I think he loved that as much as anybody.
Well, and that's something I know we get to see a version of Micah, and you guys get to see a different version of Micah too. Does he have similarities to that kind of feeling about football and about the game?
Oh, absolutely. He's. I promise you, when Michael lines up the first play, and by the fourth quarter, they're starting to say, "When is this guy going to quit?" Because he keeps coming, and I think Mike is at his best in the third and fourth quarter, and when he continues to come at them, and that's what you're looking for in these guys, just relentless competitiveness, and that's ultimately you get that type of guy. You get 53 of those guys. You get 22 starters like that. You're going to certainly get your team to where it needs to be.
Talk with Stephen Jones right here on The Fan. On Tuesday in the pre-draft presser, Jerry said we're looking at two things that could happen before or after the draft, two pretty substantive trades. Been working on that. Are those two things in play? Did any of those go off the board based on what happened in round one yesterday?
No, I think those are things that could still be there after the draft. Sometimes those things have a way of sticking around. Sometimes they don't. But, we're always looking at ways to acquire players. Certainly trades are one of them. Certainly this draft is a huge player acquisition part of any season. And then you got the post-free agency, and you got trades and things of that nature that we'll continue to look at to improve our football team.
And I know in the pre-draft presser, too, that Jerry was discussing, hey, I want Brian Schottenheimer to be right there involved in it all. I want him hollering if he has to. Was there any hollering necessary? Was there any standing up on the table and arguing necessary yesterday, and you feel like there might be today?
No, I think there was some hollering. It was we were fired up, but I don't think there was any question who our guy was when it came to that 12th pick. We were all fired up that he was there. Certainly, we give ourselves every opportunity to make sure that make sure there wasn't a trade there that was too good to be true. But it was a complete consensus on who our players should be yesterday.
Is it safe to assume then when pick number 12 came up that Tyler Booker was your best player available at that point?
At that point, he was definitely our best player on the board.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much for the insight. We're looking forward to the draft this evening, and we will catch up with you again soon.
Sounds great, guys. Great being on with you.
All right, so we'll see what happens tonight. I am excited about tonight. Cowboys, I am excited about tonight, man. That second round pick, man, the Cowboys have got to get us a little bit more excited because, boy, we waited last night, and, boy, we got deflated when they said Tyler Booker. It's not an argument on Tyler Booker. I mean, it's just not an argument against Tyler Booker. I don't think anybody was expecting Tyler Booker. So tonight, we'll see if they pick that wide receiver number 2. All right. So I'm about to take a break. I will be back at 6:45. And then after we do the draft tonight, I'm going to probably take another break. Well, I am going to take a break after the draft. And then I think we are going to come back and react. We're going to do a third live stream tonight. It'll be later tonight, probably around 11:30. We're going to come back and do a third live stream tonight, and we're going to respond. We're going to respond to who the Cowboys picked. We're going to respond. And we're probably going to open up the phone lines tonight. So it's going to be a long day. It's going to be Cowboys all day, wall to wall. You need to plant your door Bluetooth. Oh, yeah. If you'll notice, that's why I got green around the hinges. Yeah, we're getting ready to paint the door Bluetooth. We had an equipment failure. But don't worry. We're going to have a TV back here. It won't be tonight. It'll probably be tomorrow night. But we got a lot of stuff going up. We just had an equipment failure, but we're going to get it right back at it. Studio going to be looking pretty nice in the next couple of days. But again, man, we're going to be wall-to-wall Cowboys tonight. So this is the place to come watch. This is the place to be. The draft starts at 6. Well, I guess I'll be starting in the next 30 minutes. I thought it was at 7, but I guess I'll be starting at 5:45. Let me get in here and do what I got to do. I'll see y'all in the next 15 to 20 minutes. All right, guys. I'll see you at around 5:45 or 6 o'clock on the dot. Again, until the next time, let's talk Cowboys. We talk facts. See you in a few minutes. Peace.